Namibia, where the desert meets the ocean. Chapter 1. The Impossible Country. Imagine a place where red sand dunes 300 meters high meet the freezing Atlantic Ocean, where skeletons of rusted ships emerge from coastal fog like ghosts from the past, where desert elephants roam lunar landscapes and lions learn to hunt seals on the beach. This place exists. It's called Namibia. Located on the southwestern coast of Africa, Namibia is the second least densely populated country in the world. 2.5 million people scattered across 825,000 square kilometers, an area larger than France and Germany combined. But numbers don't capture the essence of this place. Namibia isn't just empty space. It's emptiness that pulses, that breathes, that tells stories millions of years old. The name comes from the Namib Desert, a Nama word meaning vast area. And vast it is. More than 80% of the territory is covered by the world's oldest desert, 55 million years of uninterrupted aridity. While other deserts are recent, the Namib has witnessed mammal evolution, continental separation, the planet's geological dance. But here's the paradox: this desert isn't dead. Life found impossible ways to thrive. The Talk-Talkie beetle collects water from morning fog on its back. Welwitschia plants live over 1,000 years with just 2 leaves that grow eternally. Oryx can raise their body temperature to avoid sweating, saving every precious drop of water. Namibia only became independent in 1990, making it one of Africa's youngest nations. Before, it was a German colony, then South African administration, then war. But while humans fought over borders, the desert remained indifferent, writing its own history in dunes that changed shape with every windstorm. This is a country of extremes, of contradictions, of brutal beauty. And to understand it, we first need to comprehend its greatest challenge: water. Or rather, the lack of it. Chapter 2. The Battle for Water. Namibia is sub-Saharan Africa's driest country. Rain is a rare luxury. In some regions, annual precipitation doesn't exceed 15 millimeters. For comparison, the Sahara Desert receives more. The coast, hit by the cold Benguela Current, almost never sees drops falling from the sky. It's desert meeting ocean, but unable to drink a single drop. Windhoek, the capital, faces a unique challenge. It's the world's only capital that could completely run out of water. In 2018 and 2019, the city came dangerously close to day zero, when taps would simply run dry. Dams reached 13% capacity. The government considered evacuating the population. Desperate campaigns, 90-second showers, gray water reuse, car wash closures. But Namibians are masters of adaptation. Centuries of desert life taught resilience. They implemented Africa's most advanced water recycling system. Windhoek has recycled sewage water for human consumption since 1968, decades before it became a worldwide trend. The water goes through 25 purification processes. It's cleaner than imported mineral water. Farmers developed impressive techniques. They raise cattle that drink every other day. Plant only super-resistant native species. Build underground cisterns that capture every drop of eventual rain. Some haven't seen significant rain in 5 years, but they survive. The Okavango River, on the northern border, is a lifeline. It's the country's only perennial river. Humans, animals, and fragile ecological balance depend on it. But climate change threatens even this. Temperatures have risen 1.5 degrees in the last 50 years. Droughts are lasting longer. Rain, when it comes, is too violent, causing erosion instead of nourishment. Traditional peoples like the Himba and San developed ancestral knowledge. They know how to read clouds, predict droughts months ahead, find water where it seems impossible. They dig specific roots that store liquid, follow desert elephant tracks that find hidden sources. This knowledge, passed orally through generations, is worth more than any modern technology. Water shaped everything in Namibia, where they live, how they live, what they value. It's not a commodity, it's religion. And this constant challenge created something unexpected, one of Africa's most stable, prosperous, and environmentally conscious nations. Because when you fight daily for survival, you learn to value every resource. Chapter 3. The Dunes That Touch the Sky. Deadvlei. Pronounce it slowly, Deadvlei. It's a Nama word meaning dead-end marsh. But there's no water here. There are only dunes. And what dunes? The Namib Dunes are the world's tallest. Big Daddy, their queen, reaches 325 meters. For perspective, that's an 80-story building made of sand. Climbing takes 2 hours of brutal effort under scorching sun. The sand is so fine your feet sink with every step. But when you reach the top and look around, you understand why this place is a World Heritage Site. The color is impossible to describe. It's not simply orange or red. It's solidified fire, it's liquid amber, it's eternal sunset. The sand contains iron oxide that oxidized for millions of years. The older the dune, the deeper the red. Some are 5 million years old, among the planet's oldest sand formations. And there's Deadvlei, dead marsh. Imagine a white clay plain, cracked, surrounded by red dunes, dotted with twisted black trees. Acacia trees that died 700 years ago when the river changed course, but didn't rot. The climate is too dry. They remain mummified, plant skeletons against impossible blue sky. It's surreal. It's disturbing. It's absolutely mesmerizing. Photographers come from around the world to capture this moment in the early morning hours. The rising sun illuminates one face of the dune while the other remains in deep shadow. The contrast between golden light and purple shadow creates perfect geometry. It looks like a painting, but it's real. At night, Deadvlei offers another spectacle, the planet's most starry sky. No light pollution, no moisture in the air, no cities for hundreds of kilometers. The Milky Way is so bright it casts shadows. You see galaxies with the naked eye. Satellites cut across the firmament. And you understand your insignificance before the cosmos. But the desert isn't just beauty. It's a functional ecosystem. Beetles, lizards, serpents, even large mammals. They adapted biological cycles to the extreme. Some animals never drink water. They get everything from food. Plants space themselves mathematically to not compete for minimal moisture. It's perfect balance built over millions of years. Trails between dunes reveal tracks, oryx, springbok, jackal, all searching for the impossible, water that doesn't exist. But they keep trying generation after generation because giving up means extinction. And life here never gives up. Chapter 4, The Skeleton Coast. The Skeleton Coast. The name isn't a metaphor. It's literal description. Imagine 100 kilometers of coastline where the Namib Desert meets the Atlantic. There are no paradise beaches. There's perpetual fog, treacherous currents, 80-kilometer-per-hour winds, and 12-degree freezing ocean. Portuguese sailors from the 15th century called it the Gates of Hell. Along the coast, shipwrecks rust. Over 1,000 documented shipwrecks in the last 500 years. Some so old only half-buried wooden beams remain. Others are giant tankers that ran aground in recent decades, 40,000-ton metal ghosts slowly corroding. The Edward Bolen is the most iconic. German ship that ran aground in 1909. But here's the mystery. Today it's 400 meters inland. No, it wasn't dragged. The desert advanced. Dunes migrated, consuming beach and ship. It now lies in the middle of nowhere, surrounded only by sand, silent witness to the desert's hunger. But skeletons aren't just ships. They're bones, thousands of them. Seals, whales, dolphins frequently beach. The Benguela Current, rich in nutrients, attracts marine life, but also brings death. Animals get lost in the fog, beach, and their skeletons bleach in the sun. Seal colonies pack certain stretches. Up to 2 million individuals, growling, fighting, stinking. It's deafening cacophony. And they attract unlikely predators, coastal jackals that learn to hunt seal pups, hyenas that patrol beaches at night, and lions, yes, lions, who develop unique seal hunting technique. Cape Cross houses the largest colony. The stench is unbearable. The sound is unbearable. But the sight is majestic. Thousands of bodies writhing, diving, emerging. Pups calling mothers. Males defending territory. It's brutally abundant life where there should be nothing. Local Namibians, especially Himba and Avambo, avoided this coast. They considered it cursed. And it really was for castaways. Surviving the shipwreck was just the first challenge. After they faced walking hundreds of kilometers through waterless desert, hunted by hyenas under deadly sun. Few made it. Their bones are also part of the coast. Today it's a national park. Tourists drive precarious roads to see this apocalyptic beauty. But it remains dangerous. Signs warn, don't stray from the path. Disorienting fog can get you lost in minutes. And in the coastal desert, lost means dead. Chapter 5, People and Culture, Roots in the Desert. Respectful cultural tone. Namibia isn't just landscape. It's a mosaic of peoples who call the impossible home. The San, also known as Bushmen, are the oldest inhabitants. Archaeological evidence suggests 25,000-year presence. They didn't just survive in the desert, they thrived. They developed absurd botanical knowledge. They know which plants cure, which kill, which hydrate. They use bows and arrows with poison tips made from specific beetle larvae. They track animals' reading footprints like an open book, age, sex, speed, whether it's injured. But modernity was cruel to the sand. Loss of territory, marginalization, alcoholism. Perhaps 50,000 remain, fighting to preserve identity. Some work as guides, sharing ancestral wisdom. Their rock paintings, scattered throughout Namibia, are windows into deep past, hunting scenes, rituals, extinct animals. The Himba of the north maintain almost untouched traditions. Women cover skin and hair with a jais, a mixture of butter, herbs, and red ochre that protects from the sun. They wear elaborate iron and leather jewelry. Social structure is matrilineal. Ancestors are venerated through sacred fire that can never go out. Himba herd cattle on arid land that seems unable to support anything. But they know exactly where to take herds, following rain and vegetation patterns invisible to foreigners. Each cow has a name. They know each animal's personality. Cattle aren't just wealth, they're family, history, identity. The Herero have painful history. In 1904, German colonizers perpetrated genocide. 75% of the Herero people were exterminated. Those who survived were forced into concentration camps in the desert, where thousands died of thirst and forced labor. It was the 20th century's first genocide, macabre precursor to future horrors. Today, Herero women wear colorful Victorian dresses, complex irony. They adopted clothes imposed by Germans, but transformed them into symbol of resistance and identity. Elaborate turbans represent cattle horns, connecting ancestral tradition with modern reality. Damara, Nama, Avambo, Kavango, each group contributes to the cultural tapestry. 13 official languages reflect diversity. Post-independence government prioritized reconciliation. Founding President Sam Nujoma preached unity despite decades of apartheid and war. Windhoek today is a cosmopolitan city. German breweries coexist with African markets. Bratwurst is served alongside kapana, meat grilled at street stalls. Preserved colonial architecture contrasts with modern skyscrapers. It's sometimes uncomfortable fusion between colonial past and independent present. But in the interior, the rhythm is ancestral. Families live as they lived centuries ago. Children still learn to survive in the desert. And there's pride in that, not nostalgia, but celebration of resilience that allowed peoples to prosper where few could exist. Chapter 6, Conservation and Future, Lesson for the World. In 1990, independent Namibia inherited a devastated country. Decades of war destroyed infrastructure. Economy was chaos. Animal population was collapsing, poaching, drought, conflict. Black rhinos on the verge of extinction, with only 10 individuals remaining. Elephants and lions at critical numbers. But Namibia made a revolutionary decision. It became the first African nation to incorporate environmental protection into its constitution. Article 95 says, the state shall maintain ecosystems, biological diversity, and functional ecological processes. It wasn't rhetoric, it was legal mandate. And they implemented a radical concept, community-based conservation. Instead of expelling people from protected areas, they gave local power. Communities that lived with animals for generations received a right to manage wildlife. They can profit from tourism, controlled hunting, animal sales. Profits stay local. It worked spectacularly. Black rhinos are now 1,800, the world's largest free-living population. Desert elephants grew to 600. Lions returned to areas they'd abandoned. Namibian cheetahs are 70% of the world population. All this in the planet's most hostile desert. Local conservationists work alongside farmers. They develop techniques to coexist with predators. Aggressive herding dogs protect livestock from jackals. Special torches ward off lions. Fair compensation when wild animal kills livestock. Result, drastic reduction in predator retaliation. Sustainable tourism exploded. Luxury eco-lodges pay fortunes to communities. Visitors spend thousands of dollars to see unique landscapes, sleep under stars, track rhinos. Namibians realize living animals are worth more than dead ones. Renewable energy is priority. With 300 days of sun per year, solar potential is gigantic. Solar farm projects are transforming desert into clean energy source. Goal: carbon neutral by 2030. But challenges remain. Climate change hits Namibia hard. Droughts are longer. Rain more unpredictable. Human-animal conflict increases when resources diminish. And balancing development with conservation is constant tightrope. Young population wants jobs, education, future. They can't simply live like ancestors, but they also can't destroy what makes them unique. Namibia is writing a new chapter, development that respects land, culture that embraces modernity without forgetting roots. For a world facing climate crisis and biodiversity loss, Namibia offers a powerful lesson. Conservation works when local communities have voice and benefit. Nature and humanity aren't opposites, they're interdependent partners. The world's oldest desert is teaching the youngest planet how to survive the future. And perhaps precisely because they've lived on survival's edge for so long, Namibians understand better than anyone. When resources are precious, you don't waste. When land is all you have, you protect. When ancestors survived the impossible, you honor legacy not just by surviving, but by thriving. Namibia is a living paradox, a country that shouldn't exist, but exists with impressive strength. Desert that shouldn't have life, but pulses with it. Young nation built on ancient land. And while dunes continue changing shape, while fog continues embracing coast, while stars continue shining over red immensity, Namibia will remain as witness that beauty and life find their way even in the most impossible places.